All right. So another day I'm locked in the jail cell house in the house arrest by guerrilla committee. See this? I just put that up along with my marking. So this way, whatever. I mean, this is all known before. This is what drives me crazy. Okay. Right, in 2010, when Anthony Tiafreo, 1975, moved in, he had a lot of transient friends. He did not, okay, and this is how I met him. All right. Frank, Frank, the guy who was at the Roadhouse, Roadhouse, bar in Lindenhurst, that my son, Alec, I don't know if you go Alec or Alexander, but he came with a brown saddle-colored jacket with arrow navigational insignia on the back, almost like they call it bomber jacket in Eastern Europe, I believe, Bomberjacket, because it's aviation. And the gentlemen on their off time, they wore leather jacket with the patches, right? The patches, I call them Boy Scout patches, but then, we laugh when we're in person because it's funny, but then if it's in front of other people, it's not so funny. Right, yeah, that one. So, right, we were at that bar, and Alec came to retrieve me. I said I wanted to go with him for sure, because he was like 6 foot, I think he said he was 6'4", give or take. And I said, no, I much prefer somebody tall and handsome like you, that's for sure. I don't like short men. And right, he said, why are you dating this guy then? And I said, I don't know. I said, there's nothing, I'm stuck on Long Island. I said, I can't, there's nothing handsome along. He goes, but I'm here. And I'm like, yeah, but are you here permanently? Are you always here? Because I can't seem to find anybody that looks like you. I was like, and then they tell me to go on these dating sites. That Frank was driving a white WHITE Mustang MUSTANG with black stripes BLACKSTRIPES. And it was a billiard club, BILLARD CLUB, Cathy Taylor, then Cathy Stepnick, now she's Cathy FLESOR, FLESOR. She was there. That was the night that I introduced her to Paul Thompson, when it was before Jim, her husband. So we were at the billiard club, and Alec came. I would have left with him that night again. But I don't know what happened. Something happened, and then I had to go back with Frank. Now, Frank had a thin phone. It was like maybe this thick. I mean, it was square, and it was long, and it flipped up, and then he talked on it, but it was square, and it's tiny. It was thin. It was like, most phones are like this size. His was very thin and silver, dark silver, DARKSILVER. And he was calling somebody. I don't know what his deal was. He had dark hair. He was only 5 foot, 5, always mad about his height. He had shit-stained eyes. He wanted to marry me. He was very aggressively male, which I actually rather enjoyed. It was the first time I'd ever been with somebody who I was like, wow, I actually respect you. And then let's think about this. And then he would laugh because he goes, you are like a contradict. I want to be mad at you, but he's like, I just can't, because I know that you, this is just you. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but all right. And then let's think about this. And then he got mad. I said Warren was better looking facially than him. I said, I don't know. Warren Thompson looks more like, who's the guy in the, yeah, he says The Notebook. I'm like, no, not that guy. That's the Gosling guy. That's the guy that looks like Gary, kind of, sort of, but not really. What the hell is his name? The one that looks like the way Benjamin was supposed to come out. The one that does the Bourne Identity. Matt Damon, right? Yeah, him. I said, Warren Thompson looks more like he's related to Matt Damon than whatever you got going on. So I said, I think he's better looking. I'm just going to be honest with you. He was like, wow. I'm like, wow, what? He's like, that was just brutally honest. I'm like, you asked. Did you want me to lie? And I'm like, if you don't want to know, don't ask. So that was that. Let's think about this. I went to Arizona with Frank. I planned my 31st birthday, paid for it myself, flew into the desert out west, and then him and I hiked into the Havasu Indian reservation. Almost died because it was like so dehydrating walking in the canyon of a desert at 130-degree weather, middle of the summer. I'm born in August. Whoops. Let's see, we backpacked in. Then there's like a hotel down there or whatever, and we stayed one night, and then we took a helicopter out. But that was like the only interesting thing I've ever really done. All right, so that's Frank. Move Frank off the agenda. All right, so then after Frank, Frank has a friend named Jeannie, Jeannie, and Zoller, Zoeller. Now, I really don't give a shit. She married some venereal disease looking guy. She's got a half breed. Nobody gives a shit. I mean, like, it's just, how do you describe this to Eastern Europe when you've got KGB files and American files? You explain it like they call it. I mean, like, that's what they think. So for my accurate files and documentation of nobody gives a shit, Jeannie, you're not that fucking important. Neither is your kid, by the way. She wanted to meet me, so we met at Blacksmith's, Blacksmiths. Johnny D was there that night. Nora and James Record came later. I had just met Tia Frio. We were talking. He wanted to buy me a drink. I'm like, I'm just drinking water, but thanks. I'm in flip-flops, a wife beater tank top, and a jean skirt. Like, I was not looking at meeting anybody that night. That's just how I feel like Long Island is. It's just like a bunch of fucking uglies, and they're just bumping uglies, and it's just like, why even fucking bother going out? All right, so let's think about this. So Frank told me that I should definitely talk to Tia Frio. I'm like, yeah. I was like, So whatever. So we exchanged numbers, and that's how I got Tia Frio's number. And then Tia Frio wound up, he was living in on Nora's couch because he's a loser. He had a Mustang that was like a seafoam green color with a tan top and interior. He had just come up from North Carolina, where he was a loser. And let's think about this. I had the house, I had Alexander, I had the kids, I had my real estate, whatever. I was trying to hold on to the house, trying not to lose it. Trying to find someone to spend my life with because I am so fucking bored and I hate fucking being human, and I can't seem to figure out how to network my way into somebody's special territory to get a fucking message through. That's why social media just works better. I don't really care how many of you fucking see this. This is the sad life of God and what you fucking humans have done to beat her, to hold her down, and to tear the entire fucking leadership, government, management, money system, safety equipment, and time and space that keeps your genetic in a healthy position. Stupid humans. All for some, I don't know what the fuck you even move for. Nobody gives a shit, honestly. In the psychology of human, they're all fucking mental cases. All right, so let's think about this. So then after I met Teofrio and he moved himself in, which I did not necessarily want, but I also didn't want to be alone. I thought he had something to contribute because he said he was working, although he wasn't. Then he gave me a, let's think about this. He had a whole bunch of transient friends that were homeless. Bobby Gordon, Bobbygordon. Bobby Gordon looks like he could be related to Leonardo DiCaprio, except poor Bobby's been beaten, and also he's had a really tough life. So his weathering of his genetic is really bad. Like, he is not aging well. I mean, but he's he's still a good-looking man, but I feel bad, but there's something unnatural and supernatural about what's draining on his beauty. I don't know what it is, but that's kind of a reoccurring theme here in America. Bobby Gordon asked me if I had a computer that he could borrow, because we put him in it was the master bedroom, is what we used to call it, because it had its own bathroom in there. But I locked the door to the main house because it was one door. So because I didn't know who he was. And so he stayed in. We gave him some clothes, some food. He asked for a computer. I gave him a computer to use. I think it was Jason's old computer. I mean, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, if he's into computers, he might have been able, I don't know. Maybe he was looking for Sanjay Gupta. Not Gupta. That's the code name of Gupta for the guppy. Guppy in a koi pond. Koy for the decoy. Dekoy. Prussian carp, Prussiankarp. All right, so that's that. So Bobby was doing something. He said he was working on something called an SEO. I had no fucking clue what the hell that meant. I'm like, what is that? He's like, it's something with social media. He's like, we promote things in social media, and it's web design, but it's like a whole algorithm. And I was like, uh-huh. I was like, and they pay you for that? He's like, yeah, there's a whole marketing company. And I'm like, right, yeah, okay. Again, got me. I have no fucking clue about that whole industry. Oh, and by the way, Frank worked at Adecco, Adecco, which apparently was like a front for a hiring company, like where they were giving out jobs. Like, you would go in as a headhunter, HEADHUNTER. But then when I went there, like, Frank was a business analyst, BUSINESSANALYST. That means they were doing major technology projects, and he was one of the integration people, but he had like a whole team of Sanjay Kumar, something like that, a whole Sanjay list of things, of people in America, in the state of New York, by the way, that he, as one white guy, but not like Nazi poster kid white. He's the other white, but acceptable white. And so he would just kind of hover over the rest of them and manage them. I don't know. I know that's important. I just don't know why. But for Bobby Gordon, I don't know who hired him. Then Chrissy, Anthony Teofrio, 1975's old fiance from like Michigan the state of Michigan. Her father was somebody really special in the Air Force. So Teofrio says, I took a liking to him, whatever. She also, by the way, after I met him, she's a dancer. She said that a professional dancer with a studio or whatever, she called him and wanted to meet me for some reason. I had no fucking clue why. But she wanted him to bring a stereo, STERO, for her dance competition. No fucking clue what that meant. Neither did Teofrio. He's like, a stereo? He's like, what are you talking about? I don't know. He's like, I just moved here. He's like, I didn't bring a stereo with me. He's like, I barely brought my own clothes. That was 2010. 2010. It's 2020 now.